Okay, we're gonna bring this meeting to order at 7:30. Have a roll call, please, members.
Joseph Adeletta. Mark Blackmer.
David Morse.
Amy Monahan?
Aaron Farbo. Joe Palulik.
Okay, thank you very much. Designate,
Amy.
Amy. I'm so bad with names. Amy, as our, from, got a lot of stuff going on, as our alternate. Thank you. Do the pledge of allegiance. Oh, they read the.
Let's see the flag. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just want to thank everybody for being here. For doing all the work that they do. One thing we need to add, the Herondine, lot line amendment to the agenda. I propose you have a motion to put that under new business, B.
So that would be application 670-11-15. Subdivision modification, 120 Trip Road, applicant Dan Herondine.
I make a motion to add to the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. Do we have any citizen comments on?
I'm sorry, can we just correct the numbering on the agenda itself?
Okay, you want to do that now? Yeah,
May I?
yeah, go ahead. We have a,
So we have a couple of typos on the agenda, if anyone's looking at the agenda. Public hearing application that's listed on the agenda is 669-1025 is actually 668-925. And that would also be changed under old business 7A. So that number, the activity on a scenic road is application 668-9-25.
Do you have a copy?
I have a copy, right, that's not the number.
That is the number. That says 667, that was already given to a different application.
Okay, so with
The correct application number,
Sorry.
668-0925. Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's fine. Do we have any citizens' comments not having anything to do with what's on the agenda tonight? So, thank you. We have the minutes from the last meeting in front of us. Do you have a motion to approve those? 2 minutes to review them.
Rules to approve them, folks, good. Couple.
Well, we'll get that when we discuss it.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
On the first page, under public hearing, it says motion to open public meeting. I think that should be public hearing. And then also, so that at the end of that, we had the motion to close the public meeting instead of public hearing.
Anything else? Anybody notice? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I abstain. Okay, on to public hearing on. Open the public hearing on application. We'll have to do it differently. There's no time. Open the application of public hearing for application number 668-09-25, activity on a scenic road. Kings Highway Farm LLC, Brian Sheldon. Have a lot of information in front of us. Do you want to start with this, Brian?
I think that's.
Yeah, no.
Anyone that doesn't know, I'm Brian Sheldon. First, I want to let you know,
did not know it was a scenic road. As well as many others. Second, I got permission from the Wyndham Land Trust about cutting the trees on their property. They gave it to me. I also got permission from Sarah Diorio, where the only two that had road frontage, both gave me permission. Then I met with the Pomfret Town foreman and let him know, stop over anytime. They were oiling the roads at the time. And, number three in Woodstock. Really, all I did is push over some alder bushes that were in the road. The town truck wasn't be able to get through without hitting their mirrors. And I also pushed over the dead stands that were a liability. In Pomfret, where I took most of the trees on mainly Sarah Diorio's land, which was Bailey Road. And then number five, I wanted to let you know. I have 45 years of construction and road building, as well as 45 years of forestry logging and firewood. That's it.
Does any, thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any comments you'd like to hear?
Want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay. How important, Glenn Boyce,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I'm a budding landowner on the backside. I actually live over just off of Rocky Hill Road. How important is the wording in the permit as written? In two different places, he refers to the name Ojala. He refers to one part of it as the Ojala cellar hole, and the other part as the south end of Ojala Road. On the town maps, the Ojala Road goes in 4.2 miles and ends at the bottom of my driveway, which is approximately 7/10 of a mile from Quarry Road. And on the other one, the Ojala cellar hole, I own it. It's on my land. And my sister Betty Fenniff lives on another chunk of Ojala Road, of Ojala. I'm afraid his permit as written is inaccurate, and I don't know what that means or how it's written and what you need to do. That's me. Thank you.
Does, so what you need,
Yeah, I guess, Ray Morgan, gonna be on Quarry Road. What I'm gonna do is, if you guys can put this in, I'm gonna give you guys all PM, maybe some copies. And then I explain what these are for you guys. Picture's worth 1,000 words. So. And. So you have them here right here. Thank you. Won't you want the same kind of. Awesome. So a couple things, just taken from the words of Brian. I was able to get this off the internet. This is zoning, right? Nice, put a nice book, cause me, I spend my life. Yeah, I'm 60, spent it. Pulling permits, doing code, doing how a code works, knowing how a book works. And a book, I live by that. People make me live by that. Mr. Shelton said 45 years in town, Woodbridge does not know it's a scenic road. That's hard to believe. That is the first thing. Let's see. What I want. So we go to the permit. If you look at the pictures I just sent you. One is the road after he got to see, first of all, he came down that scenic road, not with a piece of farm equipment, come down with construction, moving equipment. And that road got opened up. So I know we're not here. We're looking at the permit, so I'm not gonna complain. You guys got pictures, you've seen what was happening. The picture I put in front of you is a driveway he's asking a permit for. Kind of crazy, isn't it? 3 stones in front of it. If you don't give him the okay, does that turn into a, what's the word I want to look for? It's been there for a while, existing. I put 3 stones in front of it, a month later, that's an existing driveway, so now it's a driveway. You guys don't do nothing about it. The second couple pictures is I have to work between the federal government, the municipality, and the town. We work off of GIS, Ezra, which gives you the wetlands. Okay, I looked at that property because me and Pam was interested in property, and going into it, something about a piece of property is, like you said, Ryan's the owner of that, he can do what he wants to the property. But every resident in here has a certain liability when it comes to wetlands, to watch out, protect the watershed area. What's nice about that property is it does sit in a watershed area, and I look at it as being a steward of the land, you take care of that watershed. That driveway got put up, he called that in here a bar way. I've walked both sides of that road picking up the trash, kind of keeping that clean. Never seen a bar way, but that's just, never thought to take a picture. But if you notice on the drawings I gave you, that's out of the town map. So you have a ravine there, you got some kind of wetlands going in. You got a permit. Normally, I would think by the time you ask me to put a driveway in, I would have gave you a set of plans, I would have showed you the boundary lines, and I would have gave you a thing. So you guys can do your research before you okay a permit to put a driveway in. I'm hoping you're looking at the land, the structure, the wet, and the, some of the information. It's all on the, GIS. What else? Okay, the driveway, okay, very big, took down some dead trees. Picture's worth 1,000 words. You guys saw the trunks and, I know Gene made up a nice report that I had given that, I put it on the town. You saw the picture. There was a lot more than that. In my lifetime, I'm not gonna get that back. I used to be able to go on Quarry Road and it was a canopy all the way down to Pompton side. It would be 10 degrees cooler. I'm not gonna see it in my lifetime. It's going. And back to that on the Pompton side, open up, like, on the word 2-lane highway. You drive down there, you see the light. It's not gonna be the same. But that's only me complaining. Like, you ask for a permit, it's already done. That work got done after cease and desist order. So how can you, it's okay, I can't stop the permit process, but it goes back as simple. I have the rules and regulations. First thing I look at is he's asking for special hearing, your ordinance. I have the page written down. I need a minimum of 10 days. Post that for the public, so everybody has a good thing about the form. You already done it in the thing. We already knew it was coming up. That thing's already been up 7 days. You didn't even have the public notice, something on the tree. I go up and down that road every day. That's how I head to work. All right, and I come home Thursday, I see it, nice. I give you a heads up. He posted it, it was up, beautiful. I go back to my ordinance, look at it, says minimum 7 days, not 5, minimum 10 days. You can be 20 days, give the public the notice, let people know, but you did 8 days, right? So right there, he defied the ordinance. How much more can we go? And then what got me was, as soon as the night I sat in here and you asked for, especially the Ojala Road, made me do the research too. How can somebody walk in, ask permission to cut on somebody else's land, make sure you got protocols in place? The property owners, make sure everybody signed up. When he came down, when he's going down Ojala Road, everybody on Ojala Road should be signing off on a permit saying, yeah, it's okay to do that. If you don't get that, I thought it was a private road, but when it found out to be a town road and they do plow that, yeah, just be careful. When you look at a permit, make sure you dig in deep. I don't know, I'm hoping I didn't leave something out. I know tonight I will, but that's it. I just want you to look at the whole picture, of what's going on. Hopefully I won't talk. I have a second time to come up, talk some more. Thank you.
We're gonna let,
I'm not in charge of this meeting, right?
we're gonna let other people talk.
Okay.
Everybody get some chance. Anybody else? Yes,
Hi,
Jane.
I'm Jean Fellow, and I'm with the Conservation Commission. Our Development Review Committee did review, the work that was done on the road after it was completed, and it definitely, was a violation of the scenic road ordinance. And it is, very important that this is not something that is overlooked because it's water under the bridge, because it'll just not be a deterrent in the future from other people doing work on a scenic road without permission. And as a condition of approval, you can require that certain things be repaired, and that is within your purview. And it should not be something that is just giving us slap and okay, we can't change it back. It has to be made an example. That's my point.
Anybody else? Any commissioners have any comments? One second. Your first round.
Could we see more of the application displayed here? Is there a drawing submitted to show Quarry Road and Odella Road and where these are intersecting.
All right, so there's not much to the application itself.
I have the original if you guys wanna post it.
And I don't know why she actually,
Correct.
shoot, sorry. Joe, are you interested in seeing the maps? Like the Tons GIS map? Is that what you want? Cause there's not that much.
Well, we're not showing too much on the application. There's not much,
There were no maps shown on the application, included on the application.
so what's the comment about make a drive, opened up the Ojala Road south end? That's on the application.
That's on the application, in writing. It's
Yeah.
not, a map wasn't included in the application itself.
You
If you
wanna,
wanna see.
uh,
for the town
if he
map.
asks, I can show him. I have a copy. It's
Yeah.
John, was there a regular driveway permit submitted? 'Cause
Uh,
you opened a driveway, you
It
still-
was, it was, and that was put on hold because it was a scenic road. So Mr. Sheldon submitted a driveway application to the Public Works Director, who is the first person to review those. And, upon talking with Jason, the Public Works Director, he did not grant it because you need to go through the scenic road process first.
Is there a map on that showing where it is?
I don't believe so.
Was the driveway application submitted before work started, or was it after, during the
was
process? or
After
after?
work began without any notification or permission by the town. So to Mr. Adeletta's question, so this is Quarry Road winding along the southern end of Woodstock, diving into Pomfret here. The highlighted parcel 23 is Mr. Sheldon's, it's
Kings Highway.
Old Kings Highway, or Kings Highway Farm LLC. And, we could, I'm not actually, this is a 2-year-old aerial photo, so I'm not 100% sure exactly where on the length of
The
road.
assessor and the building inspector made the number for 259, which is right near the border.
The eastern
Right
border,
there, right there where you get
Okay.
right there, yep,
so the proposed driveway is here.
it's right there.
Okay.
And they gave it a number, 259.
Yep.
Ojala Road, if you'd let me just speak a little bit, was only mentioned because back in the 1600s, that was the road all the way through the quarry. It was abandoned way back before any of us were born, but I know all the history back to the 1600s. So when Ojala was mentioned, it's only mentioned as the ancient part of Ojala Road. It still was in the 1600s, Ojala all the way through.
Yeah, it was never a Jolly.
Not back then, it wasn't $1.
Well, you can say
It was a
whatever,
road.
but there's a
So,
four
but
rod
one
road that
person
goes
at a
right
time.
through that property, right to Quarry Road.
No,
And that's-
stop.
Except-
Sorry.
That's a 4 rod road.
Okay. But that, Ojala has nothing to do with the scenic road.
That's correct.
No, not at all.
I think that's I think Brian's using the basically identifiers to describe where work was happening.
It's clear. The unfortunate part,
One at a time, please. Direct your comments to me, so,
Okay.
but let's do it one at a time. So. Ojala Road currently does not have anything to do with this property.
No,
Okay. That's point. Glenn,
the reference to the Ojala cellar hole, I would like to make sure that that is deleted as well. Because I own the land that the Ojala house was on. He has a reference down near the bottom of the permit.
If that is not work that is covered under the scenic road right of way,
Okay, so you,
it's unnecessary, I mean,
it
it's
is
an
unnecessary
unnecessary
through the
detail.
permit, but I'd like to see it removed.
that's,
Because it's
Okay.
incorrect.
Because it's a conflating thing. Ojala Road is up there. May I approach? I have one picture that I could pass around. Oh. And he is correct. Let me get my glasses on, people. And we're all in the same boat. Come on. Give me a sec. Technology is not my friend.
Is that old, is the old?
There, now. That is what he's
map.
talking about, and it actually never did touch pouring.
Okay.
So.
The point is that at this time,
We only have to worry about something.
we're worried about the scenic road application and permit, and what happened on the road and the land abutting
Yes.
on, on the town property and whatever else. So that's, you may have you may be correct, but that's not, and I understand where you're coming from. But all our function now is to deal with this scenic
Right.
road.
And I'm
You put a
listening.
lot more information in here than we need.
What about all the trees?
Well, that's
That's
part,
something else.
that's part of the
That's
scenic
very
road application and part that we're dealing with now, because anything that happened between the walls, that's in the public and road, town property, where he should not have been doing anything, that's the issue now, which is the trees and that. So, I mean, that's what we're gonna deal with. And that's the issue of the application. I mean, I asked, our first selectman, Mr. Paquette, to be here just to help find out what's happening, what we can do, where we go forward from here, as far as any remedies that may have to be applied. So, yes, I can't remember.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want to raise my hand. I feel like the underdog. The clarification is, and we see what Mr. Ryan Shelton would do going down the road. Just don't want to make sure he walks out here with the authority thinking he can go down the road and start clearing the trees.
That's-
Every time the application, you guys don't say nothing that I'm afraid what could happen. And that's why, I think that's where the big concern. I feel like an underdog,
Yeah.
but
No, I understand.
I just want to make sure that Mr. Linden's.
Chan, do you have any comment on what, with the town road part? And, I mean, he did stuff to the town road too.
Mr. Sheldon did not follow the rules and regulations. He acknowledges such. He is willing to do whatever we want as far as fixing things, but for a liability reason, we do not want him coming back and doing work on the town road.
Yes.
Is the world gonna fall down because of what he did? And this is not a selectman, this is a Chandler. I don't think he did any catastrophic damage. I don't think it's a giant problem. He broke the rules, absolutely. But as far as my understanding of tonight's meeting, it's to approve or not approve his driveway application. Is that correct?
No. This is activity on a scenic road, which would be.
Okay, but
allowing
if
him
you
to-
read the scenic road ordinance, it has no teeth. It
No, I
doesn't
know.
have anything about fines, it doesn't have anything about who's responsible for fixing things. It tells you what you can and can't do, but it doesn't say anything about penalties if you do. So I really don't know how much jurisdiction the town has from here moving forward. Now, Gene has a great point. We need to rewrite that ordinance, we need to change it, we need to add teeth to it. But at this point, I don't see where the town, unless the town wants to take him to court and sue him and spend a lot of money on this, I don't think we have much teeth in this.
Yes, yeah, please, go ahead.
Chandler,
If you could speak up, I'm deaf. as
yeah,
hell.
has your road crew, has Jason or the crew done an assessment of the current conditions based on like what has changed, like in terms of, is there something out there that they need to fix?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, he's made it so that where there used to be a lot of standing water, there isn't anymore. He removed some dead trees. Did he take other trees? I can't verify because I didn't have a before and after picture. But in my feeling, but I don't wanna go there. I'm not going there.
Oh, I'll show you plenty.
I'm just telling you. When you drive by now, you can't even see what he did. Leaves fell, you can't see it. Did he break rules? Absolutely.
So, but in terms of road surface, whatever,
No,
drainage,
no impact.
pre and post, there's
No,
nothing that the town has to go back and.
Absolutely
No
no.
drainage.
Okay, all right, sorry.
And in moving forward, he has, every time he wants to put in some kind of drainage along the side of the road or to develop a pool so that the water that runs off of his driveways and the road is all on his property. It's not on town property. So to answer your question, there is nothing that the town has to do and go back and fix.
Does that include stone walls? Do you know if, because I like having driven out there a couple of times, it looked like there was some stone walls moved.
Where he put his new driveway, there was no stone wall. Did he move rocks around? Did he do stuff? Absolutely. Should he have? Absolutely not. I'm not sticking up for Mr. Sheldon. I'm just telling you, I don't feel that there's any giant catastrophic problem and there is no issue that the town has to go back and fix.
If we're to say, yeah, if we ask the question, what are the damages to the town, you don't. Okay.
And that's not my opinion. That's Jason and I speaking and visiting the site in person.
Thank you, I'm all set.
Did he do, I mean, somebody was bringing up the wetlands issue before. That's not anything to do with you folks. This isn't the wetlands commission. This is planning and zoning.
Trees he took down.
Do you, sir, do you have a comment you want to make?
Yeah, Kevin Withers, Woodstock, I thought there was some kind of rule about taking trees off the town land and bringing them onto your own land. He took and pushed a whole bunch of trees over that were on Quarry Road, and he grabbed them with a skidder and brought them up on his land, and they were live trees with leaves on them on town property. He took them off the town property. Isn't there some rule against that? I think it's stealing.
Well, usually the abutting land, from what I understand, and this is my understanding, I might be wrong, that the abutting landowner usually has access to those that, because the town comes by, and cuts a tree down, that's, you know, you have property, you have a tree that's on town property, but it's on your abutting land, they cut that down, that's your wood. That's not, that's not.
The town comes and takes it so they can use it for the highway department. They cut down a whole bunch of trees on Quarry Road. And I asked the gentleman to run them back out, and he said that the town uses it to help lower their town taxes, because that's how they heat the garage in the wintertime, because they have radiant floor heat. The plow trucks stay in there, they defrost, they're fine. And I'm sure Mr. Chandler or Mr. Burgett will explain how the highway garage works.
Just for the record, your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pam Morgan.
Yes, Chan.
Once again, I agree with Kevin. He took down trees and took the wood back to his property. It's a violation. But I don't see anything in your rules or regulations that has any clause that says that there's any kind of penalties for doing that.
It just states that.
And as far as the lumber being left on the side of the road, that's kind of, I mean, some people take the trees after they come down. The highway garage makes wood every day. We cut down wood every day, and that's how we heat the highway garage, which is fantastic. Saves the taxpayers a lot of money. But unless you're seeing something in the rules that I don't see, there is no written penalties for what he did. Shame on him for what he did. He shouldn't have done it. But short of taking him to court, I don't think there's anything that the town can do. John, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm looking at the plain language of the ordinance. The question is, so it might be worth reading the section of the ordinance. So for the record, this is the town's scenic road ordinance. This is section 4A. No road which has been designated as a scenic road under this ordinance shall be altered or improved, including but not limited to widening of the right of way or the travel portion of the road, paving, changes of grade, removal of stone bridges, straightening, removal of stone walls, and removal of mature trees except for good cause determined by the planning commission. Prior to the planning commission approving any alteration or improvement of a road designated as a scenic road under this ordinance. The planning commission shall schedule a public hearing on the proposed alteration or improvement. The planning commission shall notify the selectmen, the highway supervisor, the owners of lot frontage abutting the highway or portion of the highway designated as a scenic road of the proposed alteration and improvement and schedule a public hearing. Hearing notices and deadlines shall be in accordance with provisions of section 826D and 826E of the Connecticut General Statutes. Following the public hearing, the planning commission shall vote on the proposed future alterations and improvements and shall state the reasons for any such approved alterations or improvements in its minutes. So if I can continue a little bit. So this has been delegated by ordinance to the planning commission. In this case, the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the statutory deadlines are established, which is why abutters were notified and signs were posted. I don't know for sure about the timing of the posting of the sign. I do know that Brian had a sign that he got from their office. Yeah, so and we hold a public hearing and it functions more or less as a special permit process. However, the ordinance does not designate this as equivalent to a special permit process, during which it is the commission's ability to approve, deny, or approve with conditions. The section that I think, where did Gene go? There, Gene, was noting about applying conditions would track if we were operating under a special permit conditions, special permit statutory authorization. But I think First Selectman Paquette is right. I don't read into this that the commission can condition approval or require penalties, require reparations. The unfortunate thing, again, this all refers to proposed alterations, not addressing alterations that have already been made. So, yeah, I'm not the town's attorney, but I don't read anything in here that gives this commission a great deal of control, other than if you do deny the proposed activity, it might be a fair argument to say then it needs to be restored because it's not approved. That's the only, but that's a significant thing. And so I don't know, perhaps short of that, something negotiated could be. But I don't read into this that we have a lot of conditional approval wiggle room.
Aaron,
So if we deny this, I mean, I know he already did the stuff. Some of it you can't take back, obviously, you can't put trees back in and some other stuff. The driveway, if we deny the permit, he can't use the driveway, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so that could be the only thing that we could essentially take away from him is that he would not be able to use the driveway.
Or he could, right, that is correct, or he could seek. Yeah, to reapply under different circumstances, say, okay, I've fixed this, I've changed this, I've restored this. Now can I have my driveway permit, essentially?
Okay.
You could come back.
Gene?
In our, write-up from the Conservation Commission, we mentioned, erosion and sediment control on the shoulders of the road, and I would like to know if those have been stabilized.
I don't know. Do you know, Chandler?
He was told, do not do any more work on the road. So if you're, I mean, after the fact, if you wanted sediment or whatnot, you could make that part of your decision tonight, that he installs it or he pays for the town to install it. I don't know how you want to handle that. But the bottom line is, he was told, do not do any more work on town road.
At this point, it's too late to grow grass.
Yes.
So it'd have to be something, that's to winterize it. You have to use some other method to, stabilize it.
Yes.
Yes, Ray Morgan, once again, like Jalen said, I don't wanna throw swan open wound, what's done is done, we can't take that back, so, but driving, there's a certain rules and regulation we have to do on driving, I come in as a resident, I wanna make sure that Brian is going, adherent to the same rules and regulations I did, a driveway got put in, yeah, a permit, now, Chandler mentioned that, so, wetlands, who governs wetlands, John? planning and zoning, you guys on the wetland, ain't you?
No, no.
No. that's-
There's an inland
So-
wetlands and water
Okay, so
courses
with this
agency.
permit process. How do we, if he goes through wetlands, that's part of the permit, you guys don't, before you issue the permit, do you look into it? Do I bring in the federal,
That's,
state, or
that's
the
a different,
municipality?
it's a different commission entirely.
But they
permit.
would need,
So the permit's
if
gonna go
it's
to
in
that commission?
wetlands,
Sorry.
if it's in wetlands, it needs to go through wetlands.
He asked for a permit. Okay, let's say the permit goes right to the middle of the permit. When does wetland see this permit?
Which permit are you talking about?
The driveway,
The driveway permit?
yes. Okay, the driveway comes
If
up,
the-
it sits on top of some, I gave you a map, you see where the wetlands are. Now, did the driveway run
No,
over?
this is a
Driveway-
wetlands map, so I mean,
What's that, that's off, you're.
Yeah, that's not a wetlands map, nor does it locate, identify the location of the driveway. So it's just a picture.
Okay, so if you look at the picture, okay, that, hopefully, if a driveway gets put in, a permit gets pulled, do I should give you my property, draw my driveway, give you dimensions from the boundary line and that is part of this process, correct?
yeah.
I just wanna make sure, it seems like I can write it on paper too, I wanna make sure that if he's doing the same thing that I would have to do if I would put it in the driveway, I'm gonna have to lay that out and tell you my width. The bottom of the driveway, like I said, the water, Quarry Hill comes off the line, yeah, there should maybe be a culvert at the bottom, but once we get that heavy rainfall, you'll see the road running over. You know, there's a lot of things I just
know.
wanna make sure it's right,
This is not the driveway permit right now. This is the application for activity on a.
that's why I'm confused then, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so then
Because
the
it-
driveway,
he
he has to
voted
do
on-
this, he has to do this before he can get the driveway. We should have a map of where the driveway goes. And we don't have any of that information.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, okay.
We don't have any
if that's what we
wetlands
pursue.
designated or anything. So I mean, this.
I know he's above board and we're all doing it the way I know I would have to do it. Okay, so that's where I'm confused, I'm sorry, because I saw the Quarry Road permit, but then on the same permit, I said, make a driveway, cut down the trees and do all that. He's like, oh, wait a minute, so you're telling me, right, back down, it's only to say, I wanna go on Quarry Road and do something. Now he has to file another permit for a driveway.
Yes,
Okay,
and you should,
That-
we should have maps.
that helps me.
More information than what we have here,
That's where I'm confused.
I think. Go ahead, Brian, you have something to say?
Again, I don't wanna make any more wounds, as he would say. I have two people that caught him multiple times cutting trees
Listen,
on
listen,
Quarry Road.
Brian, that's
It's a
not the
scenic
subject,
road.
tonight. That's not the subject.
Okay, but I just wanna mention that he can say this to me, but
Brian.
he did the same thing
Brian.
on the Kettle Black.
On the subject tonight is your permit on
Yeah.
Quarry Road.
Yeah,
If you have problems with that, bring it to the zoning enforcement officer.
Yeah.
We did this
Yeah.
before. That's a separate subject. Not that it's not valid, and you may have great points, but that's not what we're discussing tonight. Okay,
so again,
so go get.
the driveway,
Take that previous comment you had,
Yeah.
bring it to zoning enforcement,
Yeah.
and then we'll deal with that through that process.
very good.
What we don't have tonight is any.
I don't have the
idea
map of where the actual driveway is.
Yeah, you're not telling us anything here. You told us what you did. which
Well,
is-
no, I said to you that the assessor and the building inspector got the spot right on the map where he's got to be.
Yeah, I know, but you need to show us. We don't have that in front of us.
It needs to go in the file. You need to have a record.
We need to have
in
a
the file.
record of what you're doing in the file.
Alright.
There's nothing, then none of that is here.
Okay, well, there was paperwork all filled out. Was
Yeah, paperwork's all filled out, but there's what's
I
going
don't,
on?
I don't know that. I don't see what you have, so.
I have your application.
Okay, well, it should have 259 on there.
We need a map.
Okay,
Yeah, we need to have it drawn out where it is.
okay.
With-
So if you wanna look at that one on the board right now, that's where it is.
No, we need a map
I know you need.
designated,
I'm saying,
designated
yes.
where the driveway is.
I didn't know that you
We
didn't
need to
get it.
know where wetlands is.
Yeah.
If it's in wetlands, it needs to
Yeah.
go through wetlands.
Yeah.
We don't have any of that.
Yeah,
So can we approve activity without that is the valid question, like,
I,
I'm
Well,
just
that-
saying,
that might be,
that's what I
That's
need
gonna
to
be-
know as a commissioner right now.
that's gonna be our discussion.
Approving activity on a scenic road
Yes, that's our.
and removing
discussion.
our opinions from it, what do we need to have in front of us the correct information to approve or deny? So, as we discussed, I feel like we need a very specific, detailed, this is what we need to consider for this application. We need a map with the boundaries, we need a map with the wetlands, we need a map with dimensions on the driveway. We want to know what has been done, how was the road widened this many feet on this side? How many trees came down? Like, just understanding the situation before making a decision, I think is very important.
In which, if we want to do that, I think we're gonna have to extend this public hearing so that Mr. Sheldon can get us the maps we need. We don't want to close it with what we have now. Then we have to deal with what we have, which is not enough, and it's gonna get denied, and then you'll have to reapply, which is just gonna cost you more money. But if we continue this public hearing, and then we get more information in that we need, then that might be the best way to go. I mean, it's a mess.
It is.
And, but we have to deal with what we can deal with here, and that's dealing with the ordinance that we have and what we can do. So I think I might propose, to extend this public hearing so that you can give us more information.
Yeah.
Because once we close it, we're done. No more information
Yeah.
come in.
Yep.
And any of the other people that have anything that they want to add, we're still hoping more information can be taken in.
Sure.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah, I had a question. Do you know how many trees you took down and roughly how many cords of wood, or what'd you do with the trees?
From the Woodstock side, barely anything other than the dead stands and the alder bushes, which are about this big around, if you know, mature ones
Okay,
that were leaning in the road. Other than that, there were hardly any of the standing trees. Most of the standing trees were in Pomfret in front of Sarah DiOrio's house. And they were on Fred Sarian, if you knew him back in the day, he was the town foreman for Pomfret. He ran the only guy that ran the grader.
so there were no lumber
No,
logs?
nothing.
No lumber logs?
No, nothing.
Okay, how about firewood? cordwood?
Firewood, yes.
How many cords?
In Pomfret?
No,
on
wait,
the
no,
Zero,
scenic road.
zero.
No
Zero firewood,
cords,
zero.
no cords of
No,
firewood.
dead stands.
All
And,
right,
and,
Can
and
someone explain
again,
what a
Ray,
dead
you got
stand is to
pictures,
who
show 'em.
doesn't know?
Show-
What is
show
the
trees.
definition of a dead stand?
Yeah.
I assume it'd be a dead tree.
Is that correct? The definition of a dead stand is a dead tree, dead
Yes.
standing?
Yeah.
And that's not suitable. for-
Okay, so
Depends on.
I realize that it's dead standing, but how many of those, I wanna know, like, how many were taken down, whether they're tiny, whether they're dead stands or not, because if you drive down Quarry Road right now, if you just drive, you can see there's a change. And I'm not trying to be argumentative, because we all agree that there's a change, but I want to make a decision based on facts. So whether it's dead or alive,
Dead
whether
trees
it was,
In
tiny.
Woodstock.
One second, Ryan, Ryan.
No, it's okay, he's trying to answer.
I thought you wanted me
Nope.
to answer.
I do. Go ahead, I'm looking for facts, so like dead trees, and then you said tiny stuff too, but being a scenic road, if you come down with this canopy, there's a lot of tiny, I'm really interested in a factual amount of what was removed, big, small, dead, alive. Is that fair?
You know what, Gideon?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
So mainly the dead stuff were dead hemlocks. The bark was actually off of them. So if those had come down on the road, it was gonna be a big mess. I pushed them back.
Roughly how many? 5, 10?
At least 5, I'm gonna say probably closer to 8,
Okay,
okay? And again, they were diseased from the woolly algitis, their caterpillar, they were dead. So anyways, when I talked to Andy from the Wyndham Land Trust, he said, Brian, don't cut anymore, don't push anymore. But grab everything that you did and bring them down into the lot that you have, get them off the road. I said, fine, I'll do that. And he says, I appreciate it, because we don't want them sitting there.
and I get that.
So I did that. And then the other things were the alder, which were about this big, which hung over into the road. I didn't cut them, I just pushed them so that they were in the woods instead of in the road. You can still see some of them that I did. Okay, so they're alive, but they're not in the road.
How many of those did you roughly push or rearrange? Because to me, it's a scene,
All the bushes?
yeah.
I'll bet you at least 6 or 7. You know?
I'm just trying to be, I'm not trying to pick on you, I'm trying to say,
You're
like,
not
this is a
picking on me,
factual
I'm
thing,
telling
you know what I mean,
So total-
understanding
total
what has
about
happened.
20,
Yep.
okay, if you wanna go there,
Yep.
of that stuff, and then the majority was in Pomfret, like I said. And Sarah DiOrio, there was a.
We don't need to worry about Pomfret.
I have
Right.
one other question. And I don't really know. What was your understanding about this road? You said you didn't know it was a scenic road, but to me, I would never go on a town road or any road without getting proper. So I was just curious where your mindset was with doing any of the stuff. Because it's wrong, but I'm just trying to understand.
Okay, and I will truthfully say to you, I did not know it was a scenic road.
Even if it wasn't a
No,
scenic
no,
road.
listen, I'll still, let me finish, okay? And so when I went down through there and realized you couldn't drive down that road with the town truck. When I opened it, the way I opened it, and I've been doing this, like I said, for a long time. And I actually got water out of the road because the ponds that were in the road were unreal.
I'm not arguing
No,
that
no, no,
you did
I'm
better,
just
it's just,
And so when I got all done with doing what I did with the trees. I looked at it as I saved the town a lot of money from the trees coming down in the road.
I understand all that, but. It was never, never a citizen's right to alter a town road. I just trying to grasp where any of that.
Again, in my mind, I was saving you a lot of money.
Brian, I think this conversation
Okay.
has gone on, we're not going anywhere with this.
Yeah.
We're gonna stop this line of questioning right
Yeah.
now. Please. Mr. Withers.
My problem is that all the live trees he took down in Woodstock on the sides of the road that was town property. He pulled them trees out of the ground and brought them up onto his land, cut the stumps off. Chopped them. To me, that's stealing town property. He didn't just take a few dead ones. He took all sorts of live ones. I actually saw it. I saw him push him over with his loader, grab him with the excavator, and then come up with the skidder. And grab the tree, the whole tree, stump and everything, and bring him up onto his land where he cut him up.
And that was.
He also grabbed, shut up. He also grabbed the mountain laurel and ripped the mountain laurel up and dragged it upon his land out of the scenic land. He stole those, they were live trees. They weren't little trees. They were trees this big. He's misleading you.
Okay,
What do we need from him list wise?
one second. Before we get there. Aaron,
Brian, can you give us an idea of how many hours or how many days you performed work on the road? Like, how involved is this? Was it days you were out there? Is it,
No.
we talking like 4 hours a day for like a week? Like, how long were you
No.
working on the road?
Not at all. I went up through one morning and opened it. That was it. And then later, I took trees, towards the other end, which again, wasn't really Woodstock, it was Concord. And with the permission, of course, the whole time of Wyndham Land Trust and that Sarah. They're the only two that I was on their property with their permission.
But you're also on town property, so how come you didn't notify the
Well,
town?
I realized it was town property, but again, like I said to Amy, I felt I was doing a service to the town that they weren't doing. And so I took the liability away from the dead trees coming in the road.
John, can you do me a favor? Can you read 4B in the scenic road ordinance? Just the first sentence at least,
4B.
4B. Oh, sorry.
No, I'll get you.
I can read if you want me to. I have it.
yeah, go ahead.
4B says any highway or portion of any highway designated as a scenic road shall be maintained by the town in good and sufficient repair and is in passable condition. So it sounds like if the road's not passable, you call the town's gonna maintain it, so. It's the town's responsibility to take care of the road, not private citizens.
And, yeah. And if you claim you've worked on roads and for the town for a long time, you should. Seems to me that you should realize that, but that's neither here nor there. Yes, in the back.
I believe I heard him say that you contacted Comfort. So why not also contact Woodstock?
I think that's another question we have. So did you have permission from the conservation,
Wyndham Land Trust.
Wyndham Land Trust before we did this, or did
Yes.
you get that
Yeah.
after?
Oh,
So that's what I don't understand. If you're doing, notifying everybody else before, but you don't notify the town. before.
The town foreman of Woodstock.
Yeah.
And I did, like I said to you, I notified the Pomfret town foreman. Cause the Woodstock Park was very little, even though it's longer, was very little.
But you didn't notify the town you're doing.
No, I didn't notify.
Did you bring
Jason.
gravel in and
And then
put gravel in the road?
And then I did notify them.
Okay. That's neither, okay,
May I?
yeah, go ahead, John.
So I assume, I'm assuming that the permission granted by Wyndham Land Trust and Sarah Diorio was verbal. Did you
Yes.
have anything in writing?
No. But I mean, you could call and talk, ask them that,
I would ask you to call them and
oh,
put
that's
something in
fine.
writing.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Do we have any other, any other comments from the public?
Um,
Do you want
just one quick one.
Yeah.
John, you just mentioned you wanted Ryan to ask them. Does that mean you want him to bring back written?
Well, that's
Okay,
what we're gonna,
you did not say that. I'm just
Well, no,
asking.
we're getting there.
we're getting there.
Oh, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
I just was
Thank
looking
you.
for more comments.
I'm a one note song. I really
Okay,
want.
no,
to
that's
song
fine.
now.
So I'm just gonna kind of, seems to me that what we should do right now is to, extend this public hearing. I'm not sure if that's the word, but extend the public hearing, continue the public hearing, and then we need to, set a date, but just identify what we need to go forward. That we want, so that, we have a chance of maybe passing, maybe approving it. Cause right now, we close the public hearing. It's the way it's presented here. It's not gonna get approved. This is me talking, but I got a pretty good idea of the commission. I don't think it's gonna get approved, and then you'll have to reapply about your money. So I think, we'll make a motion to, have somebody make a motion to extend the public hearing, continue the public hearing, and, that way more information can come in. And then we'll come up with, during the discussion, we'll come up with a list of stuff that we want from Mr. Sheldon. Is that? Okay, good. I just wanted to finish talking. That's my plan. Let me get the more public info here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Western Conservation Commission, just, point of order, moving forward, where do we put language in? Putting a penalty in to prevent this from happening in the future, is this with your commission?
Is that,
Working on that.
there, I think that's being worked on now, and I think that it would be in the ordinance,
It would
not,
have to be a town meeting to modify the ordinance, and you would probably do a 4C or something. To include penalties,
So we would bring it to the board of selectmen?
yeah, that wouldn't.
and they
go
would
through-
set a town meeting.
Because it's an ordinance, it has to go through the, and, that, talk to Gene, that's being worked on.
Yeah,
Okay. I think that's how that moves forward. Yes, Jen.
I know it's not.
State your name, please.
Oh, sorry, Jessica Weaver Bruce. I know it's not exactly the same. But what I'm hearing is if you extend it, you're saving him money. And I'm hearing people say there should be some type of penalty. There's part of me that says don't suggest making the suggestion to not extend it. So the permit has to get filed again. It's a tiny penalty, but it is a penalty.
I understand where you're coming from, but,
Yep, I just wanted to.
yeah, no, it's a point in general. We try to save community members money where we can, and I, think that might be a little vindictive. So I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not gonna change our general policy of not costing people money, whether where we're going. That's kind of that's what we've always done, is try not cost people more money. I don't want to make an alterations that how we've done things in the past. because that just sets us up for bad events. Yes,
Before we continue the public hearing, when do we give a list of proposed items that we would like?
in our discussion.
We'll have a, you'll have a motion.
We'll have a
motion,
motion.
and
A motion to discuss it.
And say here are the.
Gotcha.
And then we'll have a discussion and then we'll vote on. it. And add those things to the vote.
Yep.
Yeah, there was just one other item I wanted to see, when we discuss what we need, but, any property line stone walls that may have been moved or not moved, should be, noted.
Yes. Yes, we'll get to that later. When in the discussion of what.
Right,
what was
right,
done.
gotcha.
Anything else from the commission? Aaron?
John, is there any precedent for denying a permit for incompleteness?
Sure.
So we could deny it because it's incomplete?
If you don't have sufficient information to determine, and I mean, again, I put the thing up here, the clause is except for good cause determined by the planning commission. If you do not have enough information to determine that there is good cause, however you define that, yeah. So your options are, yes, you can deny it and force resubmission. Yes, you can continue and give the applicant opportunity to provide the missing information. But yeah, sure, absolutely. You can.
Okay. I'm on board to deny it, but that's just me.
Joseph?
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing until the November 20th meeting or go
I
later.
I would,
We have
well,
a public hearing.
you have, I think, a couple of public hearings on the.
Already
on the
scheduled for
20th.
that.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
suggest, I don't think we have anything on the first meeting in December, which would be the fourth, I think. If you, I know you're trying to keep the first. meeting
Yeah.
sacrosanct, but
Yeah, other than that, it's gonna get pushed back towards Christmas and that's gonna be over.
I think
We can go
fourth
to
is
four.
reasonable. Because if you're, my also anticipation is that we are going to require Mr. Sheldon to provide some mapping, which means he's going to have to get someone to do the mapping.
Right.
So it's gonna take him a little while to pull that together, I would suspect, unless you've got a cartographer in your back pocket. But
Okay, December 4th, but continue the meeting, public hearing until December 4th.
One second.
Okay, now we'll move into discussion, public hearing, it is,
Okay.
for now, we're ending it for tonight, we're gonna discuss what. And then we'll see. You know, if it passes, if it doesn't, then.
well, then the hearing's still open, then you can either.
Well, if it doesn't, if the
If
continuation.
this motion, the continuation doesn't pass.
Then it's the hearing.
We didn't vote on that yet.
Right, right,
Right.
okay. So,
So before we go on, can we get like a feeling from the commission? Is it worth continuing this?
But we have emotions.
we have
Yeah,
a
so
motion.
this is,
have
yeah,
to
no,
have
this
the
is what,
This is, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to get everybody's thoughts on it, is it even worth continuing? If we're just gonna continue it and then deny it, why don't we just deny it now? If we're gonna make him eventually reapply, why don't we just do it now?
well, no,
Give
the
everybody
the
time.
point is to not to make them have to reapply, that's my goal, well, not my goal, but I mean, we have to get through this, we don't have any teeth for what, from what we've heard from Chandler, he's done this and it's wrong. I don't know, I mean,
But there's so much stuff missing from the application.
that's
that
what
we
I mean,
need,
that's
like,
why
it's-
we gotta make a list for him to.
Yeah, but why is that our job to do?
Cause if we want the information, we should just tell them. Eventually, we need the information. Eventually, we're gonna get there. So we can play games or we can come up with a list of what we're gonna make a decision. I don't like it any more than you do what's happened, but the bottom line is the list is gonna move us forward.
But we can still deny it and give them the list, can't we?
We could
I mean,
deny
I
it and
just
say,
feel
we're
like
missing,
that's-
this, and this. Or we can continue and say, we need this, and this, and come back. Or we can deny it and make them.
Yeah,
reapply.
basically what we're saying is the application is not complete and it's not accurate.
Yes,
So I'm not part of the vote, obviously, but the playing it out, sort of gaming it out, if you deny. and Mr. Sheldon chooses not to reapply, then we're basically in a situation where the town is forced to take him to court. That's, because we can't. This is not a traditional zoning thing, right? I don't have traditional zoning enforcement powers here, because this is in the ordinance, not in the reg. I could issue him a letter saying, hey, please reapply. He could say no. I don't know what I'm just gaming it out. I don't know what my next move would be, other than to basically take him to court.
Okay, so another question then. Let's say we do approve it. What are we gonna make him fix? What can we make him fix?
We have no authority to fix it. We can make some, unless the
So,
town,
well,
unless
so
the
then
town
what's the
highway,
whole-
unless
so
the
then what's
highway
the whole
department comes
purpose?
up with something that says this needs to be fixed. The wetlands commission has already said they want soil stabilization, which would be
Conservation.
the conservation, I'm sorry.
Has a list of some suggestions, some recommendations, which I think we could add.
But the town would do that, not the applicant, right?
No, the applicant would have to take care of that and find out what he needs to do, what needs to be done and how to do it.
Yeah, I think the town could probably charge him back essentially for the cost of restoration, if the town was gonna do that work.
But it all comes down to the point of what's the purpose of the scenic road ordinance if we don't hold anybody accountable?
Well, the way it's written, we can't. That's why.
Well, to a certain extent, right, that's a well-made point. We, like, our ability right now was to, induce him to submit an application and to seek permission retroactively. Yeah, if it's denied, the answer of then what is tricky, and I don't. There may be some legal authority in here where the town can lean on, and again, like if permission is denied, there's an argument to be made that we could force him to restore. It would be difficult to probably force him to restore without a court order, without, taking this up a notch. So, I mean, cooperation, I think, is a good thing if we can maintain it. But you're right, it's otherwise we don't want to continue to be ignored or treated like, I'll get permission, or I'll get forgiveness rather than permission. Yeah.
And the way the ordinance is written, and what the hand we're dealt is what we do. We have no enforcement. There's no teeth. As much as we don't like what happened and the way it's playing out, and, I'm all for changing the ordinance. So that there's some bite to it. The problems we've had before have been pretty minor. Somebody putting a driveway in where there was changing a driveway or something, and it wasn't a huge deal. This is a big deal. This is a lot more work being done. And just more than, that work shouldn't have been done on any road, never mind a scenic road. So this is where we are.
So to that end, who will the board's gonna put this through and approve it? If that work shouldn't have been done on any road in the town, why would we say, oh, okay, it was okay that you did it?
Well, it's not okay, but we don't have, we don't have any mechanism. Fine them. There's no mechanism for any penalty.
But we can at least deny it, and then you can't use the driveway. I mean, I feel like we have to do something to, make it so that this deters somebody in the future from doing it, because as of right now, somebody can just do whatever they want, they'll come to the board and it's gonna get approved. I feel like this is gonna set a bad precedent, because somebody's gonna go out and do the same thing or do something worse. Because they know that nothing's gonna happen to them. I know that the ordinance doesn't have a bite, but I don't wanna be back here in a year with somebody who does something similar, because they didn't know what they were on a scenic road.
Okay. Then what's the board's feelings? That's,
I would like to.
I understand, I'm entirely sympathetic with you, Aaron, and I think the only way we can present prevent somebody from doing it before is, or have any penalty is changing the ordinance. But we have to deal with what we have, and it's just, nobody anticipated this situation. And there's no teeth, and I mean, we can deny it, I mean, certainly we'll vote it down. And do you have any opinion?
Just, all I was saying is if, to get more information on this, what has been done, like Amy says, how many trees, but if you wanted to,
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I want to deny the application.
I don't know yet.
Well, I mean, this is the situation we have. We either vote to continue it, the public hearing. So we close the public hearing, we vote down the continuation. Vote to close the public hearing, and then vote to approve or deny the application on what we have in front of us. Those are our options right now, to where we are in this meeting. Joseph.
I'm inclined to continue the public hearing. But look to the applicant who has clearly violated our regulations and the town ordinance. If we put together a pretty detailed list for some level of restoration of some trees or shrubs that have been taken down, some of the maps that we really need to have on file for both where the driveway is now, to make sure there's not another opening somewhere on the property, and any wetlands. I hate to be punitive to people, but I also hate to see that residents feel that they can just ignore the regulations and ask for forgiveness afterwards. But as David says, that, you know, this has been done, this is a landowner in town, citizen, a resident of town. Hopefully we can get some cooperation when we come up with a list of actions.
Yes, and you have a list of recommendations, I think.
Well,
You handed. it to us.
primarily was stabilizing the road, the sides of the roads, which, were not stabilized when I drove it, and, I don't think I went so far as to include planting, you know, replacing some of the trees, but, I don't think that would be the final, version that was submitted, but yeah, there does need to be some restoration to the quality of the roadway. It's definitely been changed.
Does anybody else have?
Look, is there value in collecting the information? You know what I mean? Like, whether it's denied or not. That's why I want the information, just to know what has happened. It gives us those boundaries, it gives us things for the future that we don't have right now. I feel like if we deny this application right now and he does nothing, you know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna know where those boundaries are, and, you know, 10 years from now, we might go at it again and we don't have any of the information that's preserved. For me, it's an information thing, I guess.
Again, I think, you know, the continuing this, requiring a map, with some detail, I think doesn't forego the ability of the commission to deny it next time around. Particularly if what is presented in the recitation of, you know, facts in the mapping, you feel that it's, you know, worse than you had thought, and, you know, this is a problem. I think that option is still very much on the table. But so I would suggest this initially. What I would recommend would be that the commission would request a professionally prepared map showing locations of cleared trees, location of the proposed driveway, location of existing and altered stone walls, wetlands areas in the vicinity of the road, proposed restoration activities, and proposed stabilization activities.
Yeah, does anybody think of anything else?
You know, just, so with our stabilization, you're asking his input on his plan for stabilization.
Right.
However, he's been told not to.
No, so this is just, this would be shown on the map, like, what do
Okay.
you propose to do?
Yeah.
And again,
It would have to be, I mean, anything that's done on town property would have to either be
Right,
done by the
with-
town or town-approved contract, I believe, right, correct?
following permission of the
Following
commission.
Right.
Yes, it should be done by the town crew or contractor, not the homeowner.
And I assume that the
For
town did it,
liability.
it would be reimbursed? If the town did it itself, would it be, the town would be
There's
reimbursed?
nothing in there that says you can. The only way you could get asked Mr. Sheldon to pay for anything would be to take him to court. Am I correct, John?
We can ask him to do
Yeah, I mean, I think,
stabilization of the stuff he's disturbed.
yeah, so I think that would be the analysis that we would ask for Mr. Sheldon's analysis of what was done, as well as necessary stabilization measures. We'll get that list, and if necessary, if this commission is dubious of that, we can we'll have it reviewed by yourself, by Jason, and our town engineer if necessary.
Now, when you talk about stabilization, you talking about throwing down contractor ryegrass, or what are you talking about?
Well, that's
Well, at this point, it's too late.
too late for
Too
grass.
late in the season, too late in the season to get grass growing, so they just,
Mats,
mats, erosion mats, and because you're near wetlands, it can't be polypropylene, it have to be something like something that's gonna decompose. And, those are standard things you would do in winter months for soil stabilization.
But that's, I mean, as far as who determines that and who's gonna pay for that, I can't answer.
I think it would be, the proposal would be to the applicant to say, what was done? What needs to be done to stabilize? Let us see it.
And drawings of the driveway and proposed driveway. Well, it's not it put in, but driveway and,
Well, it's still proposed because it's not
yeah.
approved yet.
Proposed driveway and, you know, we need a wetlands map to see if how close you are to wetlands and all that might need to be, who knows, so. I think that's what we're saying we need.
That's what we need in order to continue
Yeah, that's what we need at the next public hearing,
prior to.
or prior to, yes, so that when we have that hearing, we have information in front of us to more facts.
And maybe just to add to the list, written confirmation from abutting landowners, about, the work done on private property and with the land trust.
Yeah, in Woodstock, we're not worried about Poplar, Woodstock. Woodstock, right?
Is there value to a timeline, or is that not?
What?
Is there any value
Yes,
to
I
a
would-
timeline, or is that not?
timeline?
Like of the work done?
When
You know,
you
like
got
when-
permission and when the work was done. Do we know when the work was done? Is there dates of when the?
I issued a notice of violation letter, that was based on a site visit, so I can tell you when that was. August 11th. Although I'll note on August 11th, I saw Mr. Sheldon's vehicle or his equipment, as I attempted to get to his property from the Pomfret side, not from the Woodstock side. So I believe he was working on the Pomfret side on that date, August 11th, but clearing had been done in Woodstock also. So around August 11th.
Any more input? We have, we have a motion and a second,
Where's the time for the?
To continue hearing to December 4th, requesting
December fourth or seventh?
the fourth,
Okay, December fourth.
requesting that information, and I'll put it in writing to Mr. Sheldon.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
Are you gonna write that list up, John?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next, under new business application, 669-10-25 subdivision lot on Green Road. Applicant Donna Lammy, okay, sorry. I did not get a map of this in my packet. Was it all right?
Well, looks like we have.
Oh, there it is.
All right, good evening. Can I start?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. For the record, Daniel Blanchett, licensed civil engineer and surveyor. I work with J&D Site Designs out of Thompson. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Donna Lamy, to discuss a one-lot subdivision at 306 Green Road. Is this an okay place to put my board? Would you like it closer, further? Maybe a little more in the middle?
More in the middle
Absolutely, yes, sir.
and not so close to the guys.
Sorry, Paul.
Okay, we're not, you know.
You don't get to see it.
They need to see it.
Grab my notes too, so I'm closer.
On the agenda, it says the application was received and the schedule a hearing.
Yeah. Well, we believe this is a re-subdivision of.
This is a first subdivision. I don't believe a public hearing is required. Again, it's up to the commission's
Yes,
jurisdiction, but this is not a re-subdivision. This is the first subdivision of this parcel. Again, I believe the commission can request a public hearing if it feels it appropriate. I don't believe it's required. As I said, the
I didn't
property.
get any information on that. There.
It's, so we put this, and
It was emailed today.
It just
this was emailed today?
No, that's the next.
No, that's the other one that was
That's the
emailed
next
today.
one, that's the.
The next one was submitted
Right, to-
very last minute. This one was submitted several weeks ago.
But we don't have the maps.
Sir, it wasn't site plan, we received it, so
Usually we
this is
get
the
a-
application, is
for
the,
that.
the map is not there. That's a problem on our side, Daniel did submit the maps. This should have been up on the website.
Okay, I'm not expecting approval this evening. I don't have health department approval. I'm here to introduce the commission to the project. At the following meeting in 2 weeks, I'll absolutely be sure to bring some additional maps that you can review. I'm not sure what happened. I thought I delivered them.
You did. And like, because we have them on the wetlands page.
I thought I delivered sufficient copies. Would the commission like 11 by 17 or full-size copies?
Yes.
Tell me how many.
11 by 17.
11 by 17.
11 by 17
Need
for
about 15 copies.
15 copies?
You don't need 15 copies.
I
With
was
all
gonna
due
say,
respect,
can
Joe,
we do 6
you
or 8
don't need 15
maybe?
copies.
Now,
Just to save paper, maybe 6 or 8?
yeah,
Okay. I don't need. All right, I will be sure to bring that to the next meeting. Thank
So
you.
this, yeah, there is a map here. This was with wetlands, heard this on Monday. It was on the wetlands website. I'm not sure why we didn't have it on the planning and zoning website. My apologies.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure what happened with the maps. That could have been my mistake. But again, real quick introduction, not seeking approval this evening. If we're looking at the map sheet 1, we have Green Road here on the right side. Again, north is facing to the left. The entire property is highlighted in green. It's about 17 acres. Mrs. Lamy, her current house is up here at the southeast corner. And the lot we're proposing is a new line here in blue. And so Donna is proposing to split off 11 acres for her son to build a new single family house. So again, it's one new house for the owner's son.
And this is a free split?
It's not a free split, it's a subdivision. It's the first subdivision. It's the first subdivision, not a free split, not a re-subdivision, a first subdivision.
Okay.
Is that?
No. But you can hold one if you wish, but you are not required to.
Okay. So it's just that splitting a lot.
It's splitting a lot to construct one new single family home. Again, about 6 acres will stay with Donna's house. 11 acres would be for the new house. The construction is proposed here, pretty close to the road. It's a fairly straightforward project. Again, one new single family home, 11 acres, plenty of road frontage. We had a positive review by the Wetland Commission earlier this week. I don't have NDDH approval for the septic system. Hopefully I will have that shortly. For the next meeting, hopefully. That's pretty much it. Open space is a one lot subdivision. Open space is not required, but also as a family transfer, again, open space would not be required. I don't believe conservation land is required. This would be a minor subdivision as it's less than 4 lots. I'll go to sheet 2. This shows again just the proposed construction in more detail, more zoomed in. Again, north is facing the left, the road at the right-hand side. There's an existing old gravel driveway that they've used to access this side of the property forever. Again, house, septic system. We tried to stay there's wetlands all around us. There's some wetlands here. Again, not your issue. We tried to stay as far from the wetlands as possible. I think that's pretty much it. It's
That's
pretty straightforward. Again, I'm just hoping that you'll accept this application. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in 2 weeks and I'll bring more copies of the map.
Question.
Yes, sir.
The map you're gonna show us is, gonna show the wetland limit?
Yes, both maps include wetlands. Yeah, I have wetlands. Wetlands were delineated by Joe Thoreau.
All right.
Sorry, Rick Zulik. Rick Zulik in June.
Go ahead.
I would note for the record, I am also the town's wetlands officer. I attended the Wetlands Commission meeting on Monday night, the whatever it was, 3rd of November. Wetlands Commission approved the proposed development, the additional lot. The one note that they wanted to include is that there were some members of the commission who felt that a full wetland survey of the entire property would be useful for the future. I believe the applicants delineated essentially the southerly half,
Yes, sir.
which is everywhere that any development activity is being proposed. There is no development activity proposed to the north of that wetlands corridor. And so the applicants, because it's a large lot and because there's no activity, they did not continue their wetlands flagging north of that area. The Wetlands Commission just wanted to make that clear to this commission as part of their report that the northern wetlands weren't, such as they are, we don't know the condition of the northern ones, were not mapped. But no activity is taking place within hundreds of feet of that.
Because all the septic and bleach fields are all in the.
Everything is
wetland.
south of the wetlands corridor.
Exactly.
Outside, I believe, Dan, outside the upland review area.
Correct, yeah, really the only work within the upland review area is erosion control, silt fence, some minor grading. Again, yeah, so all the construction up here near the test pits, here's the wetlands. And I should grab a highlighter. Here's my upland review area. You can see the house, well, septic outside the upland review area. It's really silt fence, a little bit of grading.
I'll put that on the big map too. So this dotted line is the upland review area. This is the well radius right here. And so this here, wetlands are up over here. All activity is taking place to the west, I guess, more or less, of the upland review area.
Other question? Are there any culverts involved, along Green Road?
There is an existing culvert. Again, we're not proposing to touch it. We don't think where this construction is gonna have any effect on that. But if you look at the wetlands, again, generally so from the wetlands, they head this way and then south, and then there is an existing culvert here. And so the wetlands come up and then across the road there is a 30-inch concrete pipe under the road there. We're not proposing to modify that at all.
Where the driveway is an existing barway.
Exactly, there's an existing gravel driveway here that we're gonna use. Right, I believe Donna, that driveway's been there a long time.
Long time,
Now that, has that culvert ever flooded over the road there?
never,
I can't say.
never. We've been there 40 years.
Okay. I would like to know, the drainage area that goes to that culvert.
But I mean, I understand your concern, Joe, but that's not. Even where the proposed lot is, nothing's gonna change that water flow, and the culvert is on town road. That's a town culvert.
Yeah, but just being an engineer, figure out the drainage area.
I know,
Okay, so you just wanna know the acreage for the drainage area for that
Yep.
culvert?
Mhm.
Okay,
is that, I mean, I have a question. I understand what you want, Joe, but is that gonna be, I'm against making people pay for work that's gonna might cost, I don't know how much that would cost. But is that, it's not necessary for the approval of this lot? Really? I understand where you're coming from and why you want it, but
I guess, well, I mean, I guess, is there something about the development proposal that you believe might exacerbate an existing condition? So maybe Daniel, that would be a question for you. Can you explain where the drainage would go from this construction area? The development area?
Yeah, so it's kind of in a weird, low point. You probably can't read the topography, but there's actually a ledgy knoll here. You'll see an elevation 480, 482. And then again, a 480 here. And so the house and there's kind of in a valley. There's a high point here and a high point here, 482, 484. And we're kind of in a little bit of a valley. There's actually a lot of ledge on site. We had trouble getting the septic system to work. Originally, I was thinking we'd have it up at the high point, and we're actually kind of in a valley between the two high points because the high points were very rough. And so again, it's a very small amount of impervious area. It's a gravel driveway that's existing. It's one new house.
And sheet flow would be roughly like sheet flow to the south?
Yeah, exactly. Sheet flow is kind of just gonna come here and infiltrate into the ground. Again, any drainage isn't gonna make it over the ledge and then into,
Where's the stream on there?
it's not a stream per se, but the wetlands again kind of come this way. Here's the culvert.
If there's a 30-inch pipe, there must be a fairly good stream someplace.
I'll have to double check the wetlands report by the soil scientist. I don't believe he classified it as a stream.
It comes
again.
down, the water comes down, it dries up every, usually June or July. The little wet area that comes down, it goes.
So there's no defined drainage way on this property, is what you're telling.
I'm trying to read through the exact language from the soil scientist to make sure I don't misspeak. Again, we have approval from the Wetlands Commission,
I understand.
only blah, blah, blah. Wetland soils are Ridgeberry and Leicester, poorly drained soils. Only the southern portion has been delineated, poorly drained soils are saturated. Culverts. Whitman series. The area of the wetland is small relative to its watershed. Flood storage is small or non-existent. I don't see anything in the report from the soil scientist that describes this as a stream or an intermittent water course.
Oh, that's surprising. It is a 30-inch culvert.
Yeah.
I mean, that was when it was put in. It was probably put in 100 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't size that culvert. I don't know how full it gets.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Joe, but I just,
Seen it full in 42 years that I've lived there, I've never seen. Well, goes across the road onto what would be the richest property. And on that side, there's a swampy little area that it goes into, that's not my property.
Yeah.
But I've never ever seen, I get more flooding coming down off the Hill and Green Road in my lower, right below my house than
Right.
you would any other place.
Okay.
any other questions? No, as long as it meets all John's are.
Well, we're just accepting anyway. We just
Yeah,
want a
we're just-
motion to
yeah,
accept. I'll make a
yeah.
motion to accept the application.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just add, then maybe if you're accepting it or you're formally receiving it. Want to determine if you want to hold a public hearing or if you don't feel a public hearing is necessary, then I would also then suggest you table it for consideration at the next planning and zoning meeting.
I will modify my motion to not include a public hearing and address at the next
Table up till the next.
table until the next wetlands and, planning and zoning meeting.
And I accept that as a second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're all set. Thank
But
you.
no, he's,
Oh, no,
again.
You're waiting for the next one. I'm like.
He's
but-
super, yeah.
Why-
You're not rid of me yet.
Okay.
he brought a coupon, 2 for 1, so I.
Next up is the, Herondine, which we just got today.
Just came in yesterday.
Yeah, it was received yesterday. To be clear,
I-
we had more than 24 hours.
We got, yeah, and I saw the email, I looked at it. And that came up online, so I looked at it, simply a lot. Go ahead, explain.
We're only accepting it again, right? We're not making any decisions.
Which,
This is what we're talking about now.
you can make a decision, but let's get there first.
Go ahead.
All right, for the record, still Daniel Blanchett. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant Dan Harradine. Dan, you wanna stand up, Dave? All right, Mr. Harradine owns 2 properties, 120 shown here in blue and 130 shown here in green on Tripp Road. 120 was created by subdivision in 1985. This lot was created before subdivision existed. It's not part of an approved subdivision. This lot is part of an approved subdivision, and we're proposing to make it smaller. And therefore, we have submitted an application to modify an approved subdivision. The issue at hand is, if you look at the property for 130 Tripp Road, there's a barn shown here in purple. The barn's over the property line. Not only does it not meet the building setbacks, it's over the property line. A little piece of it's actually on lot 3G. Mr. Harradine is dealing with some health issues. He's looking to sell off some land. And of course, before he can sell off these properties, he wants to make them more conforming with zoning and clarify the ownership of this farm. And so what we're proposing, again, is to modify this subdivision lot to make it smaller. This green parcel, or sorry, orange, I'm colorblind, I had to double check, orange parcel, 0.18 acres would be added to 130 Tripp Road. There's also a little carport here, like a kind of a removable carport. There are 2 sheds here, which would not comply with building setbacks. We have a note to remove the 2 sheds. And so basically, again, we're trying to make this property a little bit bigger so that these structures comply with building setbacks so that my client can sell them.
How many acres is the bigger lot?
2.50 acres, and we would be making it 2.32 acres.
So if I may.
Yes.
So this is, in talking with Daniel about this previously, it was ordinarily, at first blush, it looks like a lot line adjustment. Which assuming both lots are being made more conforming or no less conforming, should be an administrative matter. However, the acreage here is the tricky part. The blue lot, the large lot, is currently 2.5 acres. It's being proposed to go down to 2.3-ish.
Yes.
So the current standard for creation of a new lot outside of the subdivision process is 2.5 acres. So there is an argument to be made that he is seeking to make that lot non-conforming, question mark. However, at the time of that subdivision, 1985, there were no minimum lot sizes in Woodstock. So it was created in a zoning circumstance where 2.3 acres is fine. But case law and state statute basically lock in the regulations at the time of the subdivision. However, in 1985, there were no zoning regulations in Woodstock. So because there were no zoning regulations, you are now bound by a current regulatory standard. So now we have a 2.5 acre minimum. However, in subdivision, as you all know, we have conservation standards and subdivisions, so lots can actually be as small as 3/4 of an acre. And the zoning regulations back that up. So your current subdivision regulations would allow you to create a lot that is far less than 2.5 acres.
Yeah, if I could just interject, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
Last year, my partner Janet did a subdivision for Ken Pelk on Route 198. They made 5 or 6 lots. They were about 1.5 acres each.
There's conservation lands.
That was not a conservation subdivision.
But that had to have some, higher density permission for.
It was still a standard subdivision. It had conservation land, but it was not a conservation
Oh,
subdivision.
Okay.
A conservation subdivision allows 0.75 acres, I believe.
Right, and again, this, you know. Per our current subdivision standards, this is essentially would be treated sort of more or less as a 2-lot, which doesn't require open space. As a simple, so
It's a weird one.
This is being done essentially out of an abundance of caution to make sure that the commission understands that what's being asked for is appropriate to the current regulatory environment, but is not creating any new lots. Instead of suggesting that he just file a lot line adjustment, which would be his right if everything were perfectly conforming, this is sort of we want to make sure that the Planning and Zoning Commission understands that there is a reasonable interpretation of conformity, because the current zoning and subdivision regime allows for lots that are smaller than 2.5 acres.
What's the acreage of the small lot, the green?
Yeah, so so I said, these 2 lots are a little bit less. This is 0.46 acres. Again, this one, 0.46 acres predates subdivision, and when these lots were created in 1985, these lots are like 1/4 of an acre, 1/3 of an acre.
So it's currently, we consider it an existing non-conforming, it's 0.4 acres. And would be becoming more not fully conforming, but more conforming.
Yes,
But the larger one would be less conforming, would not be conforming because it's less than.
Well, I think because your subdivision regulations, because this isn't a new lot that's being created out of thin air, which would be the standard for a 2.5 acre lot. The subdivision regulations and the zoning regulations that undergird them allow much smaller lots, allow lots within a subdivision to be as small as 0.75 acres.
Does the orange edition have to be that large? Could it be less to maintain 2.5 acres on the?
Well, it's only currently 2.5.
You
I
can't.
think it's right at 2.5 right now,
It's
so anything you
2.3.
take would drop it.
exactly. Yeah.
Below
And
2.5.
anything I take off this is gonna make it less than 2.5,
Anything.
2.50, yeah. We looked at that. We tried to look at, say, well, if I take this and I give you something here, and
Right,
we looked at trying to do a swap, and it doesn't work
And
with
then you
building
get setback
setbacks.
problems, yeah.
Right,
You know, it's what, 1/10 of an acre, you're
0.18,
0.1 acre.
yeah,
so
yes,
almost
the orange is
six of it.
0.18.
And, where are we, do we have a B100?
We do not yet, no, no, again, I'm not seeking approval this evening.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything on this. I feel uncomfortable trying to make a decision.
But we don't,
Nobody's asking for your decision tonight, Joe.
Oh, I thought you were.
I'm saying you're not prevented from, but
Yeah, if you wanna make a decision tonight, great, I'm
Yeah.
thrilled, but
It's like doing it without it.
I understand you would be hesitant, again, without health department approval and without time to look at the
But
maps,
it's, yeah,
absolutely.
this is not a re-subdivision, it's not a special permit, there's no hearing required.
so we need the B100, the health department approval.
Right, to make sure that the adjustment, because, the reason you do a B100 is just for some reason if he was trying to carve off his leach field and hand it to his neighbor, that the B100 would catch that.
Okay, so, and we're not comfortable making a decision tonight because nobody had a chance to really look at this
Yes, sir.
or so. So,
Are you looking for a motion to accept it so that we can table, or are we just gonna leave it?
do we just table it or do we have to make a motion to table it?
Accept it.
You just want to formally accept it or formally receive it and
Receive it, let's receive it.
schedule it for
Receive it.
consideration.
I'll make a motion to receive the application to be addressed at the next planning and zoning meeting.
I'll second it.
Second,
I second, yeah, sorry.
any discussion? All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Any, yeah. Abstentions? It's getting late.
See you in a couple weeks, Dan.
All right, thank you for your time, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Somewhere in here. Using it never possible. Business, your old business, application on a scenic road, that's been, that's kind of moved.
Right,
That's moved. Do we have to continue that or do we just?
No, yeah, no, this is, yep.
We, we'll do the,
We'll just do that in.
okay. You want to, do the discussion on multifamily residential regulations? I spoke earlier, you didn't have a whole lot for it.
I don't know, I just, well, I would just ask it the week, because the last time we kind of handled a big question, which is, you know, we sort of looked at the idea of, essentially as of right, 1, 2, 3, 4 families. I didn't know if anyone gave it some thought and had some serious misgivings. Or if, then the alternative, if no one has any serious misgivings, my next step would be to draft up a proposed regulation, for consideration.
Right. I think that makes it more useful.
Sure.
To look at something.
Right, to sort of see, sure,
We can.
Okay.
Edit, discuss.
okay, because that's, I mean, it's a fairly significant change, I didn't want
And
to.
what did you say, 1, 2, 3, and 4 family?
That was the discussion last time. And I can,
I was not here for that. I read the two notes, but I did not here for that.
I'll forward this again, if you want to see if this is,
Yeah.
this was the proposal from last time.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
Thanks.
It was on, up to 4 family on lots, 2.5 acres or more. But then, on all lots, all residential lots would be an as of right, single family with a accessory apartment or 2 family. On any residential lot that could handle the septic system essentially. That's the broad strokes of the proposal.
Right.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
Home occupations, that's just for us to review, right?
Yeah, no, this is an administrative approval, but you guys had sort of had a longstanding request to see them.
Yeah.
This is strictly, basically an internet business, someone on their computer, yeah.
Yeah. It's helpful, and John, just for a little background, it's helpful for us to kind of see what kind of businesses are being proposed in town through the
No,
whole
I understand.
occupation process.
Yeah.
And just to keep aware of what's going on.
Do you have a report? It's not on the agenda.
No, I'll do my CEO report next meeting.
Okay. That's right, it's first. Any citizens' comments?
I just wanna thank everybody on the board. You guys did a good job keeping the emotions out of this. I know it hasn't been an easy meeting. You guys did good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Under communications, we have our meeting dates for the next year. And we need a motion to approve these.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Anybody have issues with those? When's Thanksgiving?
They don't seem to be on holidays, so they're.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving is always 4th Thursday.
yeah.
So,
Obviously. And if there's any conflicts, we can change these as we go
Right,
along
yeah,
anyway,
right.
so, did somebody make a motion to approve those?
Yeah.
Second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Done.
And
Any other?
and there was another item of communication. You'll recall last time, following discussion about, Ken Rappaport's project on
Yes.
Pulpit Rock Road and the question of what triggers constable review. And so I sent an email to Jim Belrose, about if there is some trigger, and there is no trigger in the statute or in the ordinance. And it's basically if something is significant enough and you know, either the applicant or the town requests additional support. But we have no sort of event threshold that automatically triggers. So that was just the answer to the question.
So it doesn't prevent us from requesting constable help as
No.
part of an event?
No.
Okay.
Another question we had too was we were gonna check with the town attorney as to would we modify the
Yep.
special permit?
Right.
This is, I didn't get this in writing. This is hearsay, so I can get it in writing, but my conversation with Attorney Roberts, and because I was still waiting for. All right, let me back up. You recall last time my understanding of special permits are any substantive change to a special permit requires a new special permit, a new public hearing. And there was some thought on the board that the intent of the 1 year period was to allow the commission to modify things on the fly if it wasn't. Attorney Roberts, and he can speak for himself on this, but Ken Rappaport said he had a piece of paper from Delia or from someone that said this can be changed, or, you know, this can be modified in a year's time. I haven't seen that piece of paper. I don't know of its existence other than what Mr. Rappaport asked for a copy of it. I haven't seen it yet. But Rich had no such recollection of that discussion, and agreed with my broad understanding of state statutes of special permits. Substantive modifications of special permits require a new special permit. Unless you gave yourself that permission explicitly, it's not in the black and white of the approval. But if there is some correspondence that I'm unaware of that Delia submitted, I need to see that before we lock it down. But as far as I'm concerned, it still stands that you need a new special permit.
Well, you keep saying substantive, so if it's not significant changes, if it's like one of the events going from 10 events to 12.
Well, so
events,
that would be in violation of the black and white of his approval, wouldn't it?
not necessarily significant though.
Substantial. What's your definition of substantial?
Yeah, substantial, well, that might be a
Okay.
note when you see it sort of thing, but,
And did
yeah.
Attorney Roberts recall the 1 year special permit?
Yeah.
Comment that he was comfortable with?
he didn't recall any comment, like he saw the same document I did. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Because
can
he was
get
the
that.
audience and he was the one who
Yeah.
felt that, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure if you
I think
recall
he was-
having
yeah.
that kind of.
I think I think there's might be a difference between. Cause traditionally, special permits run with the land.
Yeah.
Right, they're in perpetuity.
Right.
I think the 1 year thing is, can you make this guy come back and tell you how things are going? Yes. But then, you know, is there some automatic modifier? I don't know if you necessarily agreed to that, but I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Okay.
I feel like that was the understanding, though, because what's the point of a trial period? You can't change something after one to
Yeah,
1 year.
that,
like
I remember that was like, let's see how this works if we need to make adjustments.
Yes, that's my understanding, but.
Yeah, and I guess then on the other side of the coin would be, I don't know, the neighbors or someone who participated in the first, was notified about the first hearing. And thought that, you know, there was a limit of 65 or whatever, and then, you know, the next year, they're like, wait a second, something changed? How did something change?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, that's right, the purpose of the public hearing is to make sure that the public is informed.
So bottom line, then, we have to notify Mr. Rappaport that he's not gonna expand to 100 people for a wedding.
Mr. Rappaport knows that he needs to get me that piece of paper before we make any decisions on it.
All right.
So that's kind of key.
Yeah, and he knows this, we emailed about it, he got caught, I guess his
there a date on that? Can we go back and look at the minutes? Have you gone back and look at the minutes of the meeting where we had that?
I did, like, last month, I don't recall it,
What was the date of it?
I think it was more like January.
It was,
January.
I think it was January, February of 24.
24, so it should have been January, February
Yeah.
25.
I remember the meeting.
But yeah, and he, I guess his site manager resigned, and so he's been.
Yeah.
Up to his eyeballs, I guess, but he knows he needs to get whatever correspondence would help his case.
Okay. And then that's it. Any more communications?
No.
Move to adjourn.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get one thing in, a concern about last minute application. We as a commission for many years had really pushed to make sure that commissioners had a chance before a meeting, to at least review applications that were coming in. And oftentimes they were supposed to be put into the packets mailed out a week before. So I'm just a little concerned that we had two quick ones in tonight's meeting, and I hate to see us backslide into a time when, and it was well before your time, John, that we have subdivision applications come in the night of the meeting. Have to do something with them. I don't want to get back to that point. I think the commission needs adequate time to look at applications.
Yeah,
Yes, go
so with respect, the statutes don't care about your feelings.
Well,
But, so you do have time, Joe. The statutes allow for people with 24 hours notice to submit an application that is deemed received, whether you like it or not, deemed received at the next regular meeting, at least 24 hours of post. You don't have to decide on them.
well, that's.
You can
that's-
schedule a hearing,
Right.
you can postpone it within your statutory timeframes. What you cannot do is say, I am not receiving this.
I understand that. But we need to get some more time than the night of the meeting.
You have it, you're not making a decision tonight, you have 2 weeks.
Okay, John.
And you have 65 days if you choose to use it.
So the law says that we have to,
The statutes say that application, whether or not you acted on it, is received.
Received.
And the ones that are administrative, which is to say both of the subdivisions, if you do not act in a certain time after they are statutorily received, not when you guys are ready for them, they will be approved by statute. Special permits won't,
I understand.
but subdivisions are approved. So setting your own time clock is not a great idea.
Well, we can approve things that we don't know anything about.
You don't have to approve it yet, Joe.
Okay.
We're waiting.
we received
And
both.
I'm not talking about these as something we have to approve of. I understand we're not approving them. Just saying this is the trend, unfortunately, that seems to be starting. And
I
hope
mean,
it
applicants
doesn't
understand their
continue.
rights.
Try it again, Mark.
Back to you, Mark.
Move to adjourn?
For a second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Here, opposed.